The science of productivity. Imagine this. You wake up with big plans for the day, you're motivated, you've got your to-do list ready, but hours pass and somehow you've achieved almost nothing. Sound familiar? What if I told you there's a hidden formula behind productivity, one that top performers use every single day? In this video, you'll discover the secrets of productivity, the science behind it, powerful tools to boost your efficiency, and the psychology that drives a truly productive mind. What is productivity really? Productivity isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. But what does that mean? At its core, productivity is simply the measure of output over input. The more you achieve with less time or effort, the more productive you are. But why does it feel so elusive? The answer lies in our biology. Our brains are wired for survival, not efficiency. Left unchecked, distractions and fatigue easily take over. Productivity requires a conscious effort to override these instincts, and neuroscience gives us the tools to do just that. The flow state, your brain at peak performance. Have you ever been so engrossed in an activity that time seemed to disappear? That's called a flow state, a term coined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. When you're in flow, your brain releases dopamine, a feel-good chemical, and focuses intensely on the task at hand. It's like unlocking a hidden superpower. But here's the trick. Flow doesn't just happen. It's triggered by specific conditions, like working on tasks that are challenging yet achievable. Too easy? You're bored. Too hard? You're overwhelmed. Finding that sweet spot is key. So how do you set yourself up for flow? Start by eliminating distractions. Your brain takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after an interruption. Guard your focus like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. The role of dopamine in productivity. Dopamine isn't just about feeling good, it's the driver behind all human motivation. But here's the catch. Your brain releases dopamine for quick wins, like checking your phone, just as much as it does for meaningful achievements. This creates a trap where instant gratification hijacks your productivity. The solution? Dopamine detox. Train your brain to crave deep work by reducing your reliance on short-term hits. Replace scrolling with small intentional wins, like completing a microtask or crossing off a to-do list item. Over time, your brain rewires itself to favor productivity. Time perception and productivity. Ever notice how time flies when you're productive, but drags when you're procrastinating? That's because your perception of time changes based on engagement. Psychologists call this the time dilation effect. When you're deeply focused, your brain compresses time, making it feel shorter and more satisfying. To hack your perception of time, break your day into intentional blocks. Techniques like the Pomodoro method, working for 25 minutes and resting for 5, keep your brain engaged and energized. The productivity cycle. Productivity isn't linear, it's cyclical. Think of it like waves. There's focus, where you dive into work, recovery, where you recharge, and reflection, where you assess and improve. Ignoring any part of this cycle leads to burnout or stagnation. End your day by asking, what worked, what didn't? This simple habit ensures you're constantly optimizing, not just your tasks, but your mindset. Call to action. Productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Start small, eliminate distractions, embrace the flow, and remember, every moment you invest in your growth brings you closer to the life you want. Tools and techniques for maximum output. Imagine this, you're drowning in tasks, deadlines are looming, and your to-do list feels like a never-ending staircase. But suddenly, you stumble upon a secret, a way to not only clear that list, but crush it like never before. What if I told you the secret isn't about working harder, but smarter? Today, I'm going to reveal the tools and techniques that'll unlock your maximum potential, step by step. Buckle up, because this journey will change how you work forever. Chapter 1. The problem with traditional productivity. We've been sold a lie that multitasking and long hours are the keys to productivity. The truth? They're traps. The average person spends over 50% of their workday on distractions and inefficiencies. But here's the good news, there's a better way. Before we dive into the tools, let's look at why most traditional methods fail. Our brains aren't wired to juggle multiple priorities at once. Instead, the secret lies in focus, organization, and leveraging the right tools. Let's begin by decluttering your workflow, one step at a time. Chapter 2. The tools that work like magic. Now here's the fun part. The tools that'll transform how you work. First up, let's meet Notion, the ultimate all-in-one workspace. Imagine having your tasks, notes, and even your brainstorming ideas all in one place. Next, we have Trello, your digital post-it board. With its card system, you can visually track your progress and organize projects in seconds. Perfect for team collaborations and solo missions alike. And then there's Clockify, a time tracker that makes you aware of how you're spending every precious minute. Want to know why you're always out of time? Clockify reveals the answer. Chapter 3. Techniques to supercharge your tools. Then there's the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of intense focus, followed by 5 minutes of rest. It's like sprints for your brain, keeping you sharp and productive. Lastly, meet the Eisenhower matrix, a game changer for decision making. Divide your tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, not urgent but important, and so on. Trust me, once you try it, you'll never go back. Chapter 4. Automation and AI, your secret weapon. Ready to take it up a notch? Let's talk automation. Tools like Zapier and IFTTT can connect your apps, automating repetitive tasks like email replies or calendar updates. It's like having a digital assistant who works 24/7. And don't forget AI. Tools like ChatGPT can draft emails, create content, and even brainstorm ideas for you. Imagine cutting hours from your workload while still achieving peak performance. Chapter 5. Building your personal productivity system. Here's the secret to maximum output. It's not about using all the tools, it's about creating a system that works for you. Combine what we've learned. Use Notion for planning, Trello for tracking, Clockify for time management, and layer in techniques like time blocking and Pomodoro. Build a system that feels natural and empowers you to thrive. A call to action. You've got the tools, you've got the techniques. Now it's time to take action. Start small. Implement one tool or technique today and see the difference. Remember, productivity isn't about doing more, it's about achieving more with less effort. Let's conquer the chaos together. The psychology of rest and recovery. Imagine this, you're racing down a highway at full speed, the engine roaring, but suddenly the fuel gauge starts flashing red. You tell yourself, just a bit further, ignoring the warning. Then the car sputters, slows, and stalls in the middle of nowhere. No fuel, no progress. This isn't just a car, it's you. In a world obsessed with doing more, have you ever stopped to ask, what powers my engine? Welcome to The Psychology of Rest and Recovery, the secret fuel for a life that doesn't just survive, but thrives. Chapter 1. The Silent Crisis of Exhaustion. We live in an era that glorifies hustle, where taking a break feels like a crime. But here's the irony. The harder you push, the faster you burn out. Research shows that chronic exhaustion doesn't just drain your energy, it rewires your brain. Your decision-making falters. Creativity, gone. Emotional resilience, non-existent. The result? A vicious cycle of diminishing returns. Our brains aren't machines, they're ecosystems. Without rest, stress hormones flood the system, choking your ability to think clearly. But here's the good news. The human brain is remarkably resilient, if you let it recover. Chapter 2. The Science Behind Rest. Rest isn't laziness, it's biology. When you rest, your brain activates something extraordinary. The default mode network, DMN. Think of it as your brain's maintenance crew, sorting memories, sparking creativity, and finding solutions to problems you didn't even know you had. Ever notice how your best ideas come when you're not working? That's the DMN at play. Scientists have found that periods of deliberate rest boost learning, improve emotional regulation, and even increase your lifespan. The key lies in understanding the types of rest you need: physical, mental, emotional, and even sensory. Chapter 3. Recovery is an active process. Recovery isn't just about doing nothing, it's about doing the right things. Think of an athlete after a marathon. They don't just stop, they stretch, hydrate, and fuel up. Similarly, your mind and body need active recovery. Start with mindfulness. 5 minutes of deep breathing can lower cortisol levels by 30%. Then there's sleep, the ultimate recovery tool. Missing even one night of quality sleep can decrease your cognitive performance by 25%. Finally, don't underestimate the power of doing something you love. Reading, painting, or even cooking can replenish your emotional reserves. Chapter 4. The Rest Revolution. It's time to rewrite the narrative. Rest isn't weakness, it's a superpower. Cultures like Japan's embrace practices like inamuri, or napping in public, while Scandinavian countries prioritize work-life balance through hygge and friluftsliv. These aren't just traditions, they're survival strategies in a demanding world. So here's the challenge. Can you carve out just 10 minutes today for deliberate rest? Can you prioritize recovery as much as productivity? Because when you do, you're not just fueling your engine, you're unlocking your full potential. The world doesn't need more tired minds, it needs inspired ones. And inspiration begins with rest. Subscribe for more life-changing insights, and remember, the best version of you starts with a pause.